Hey family, so God gave me a message, and the message is coming from Genesis 50, verses 15 through 21. And it says, when Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said, what if Joseph holds a grudge against us and pay us back for all the wrongs we did to him? So they sent word to Joseph saying, your father left these instructions before he died. This is what you are to say to Joseph. I ask you to forgive your brothers the sin and the wrongs they committed in treating you so badly. Now please forgive the sins of the servants of the God of your father. When their message came to him, Joseph wept. His brothers then came and threw themselves down before him. We are your slaves, they said. But Joseph said to them, don't be afraid. Am I in the place of God? You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. So then, don't be afraid. I will provide for you and your children. And he reassured them and spoke kindly of them. Okay? So the message is, what if God didn't allow? Okay? I hope I'm saying that right. But Joseph is saying to them, if God didn't allow for all of this to happen, right now, all these people wouldn't have been saved. Right? So they were so scared that Joseph was going to hate them for what they did. But Joseph had to look into himself and say, I could have been mad, right? Because he had the right to be mad. He had every right to be mad. All he was trying to do was figure himself out. In a way, it came off as he was trying to be, you know, like prideful and like a big ego. But he wasn't even thinking like that way. He was just trying to figure himself out. He was trying to figure out his blessing and what God was trying to tell him. All he was doing was telling them his dream, but they got upset thinking he was better than them, which wasn't even the case. He wasn't even thinking that. He was just trying to, in himself, try to figure out what the dream meant too. But they didn't see it like that. And because they didn't see it like that, and because they let the devil talk to them, because that's all the devil can do. The devil can only play with your mind by talking to you. So a lot of people get in bad situations because they listen to him. Because they listen to him. All he do is talk, and they be listening, and he get them in trouble. He taught them into getting themselves in trouble. Right? So that's what the devil did. He was talking to his brothers in their ear, talking about, ooh, look at Joseph. Always bragging, right? He think he better than y'all. Y'all daddy like him more. Why he make him this beautiful jacket and then make y'all one? You know that's what the devil was saying to them. That's why they were so upset. That's why they were so jealous. That's why they were so envious, right? And so Joseph could have been mad. He could have been mad his brothers tried to kill him. He could have been mad that, they sold him into slavery. He could have been mad that Potiphar's wife tried to seduce him, and when he wouldn't, go for it, she lied and say that he raped her. and got him put in jail. He could have been mad after, interpreting those two prisoners' dreams, and he came to agreement with them, and they forgot about him for 2 years in jail after interpreting their dreams. He could have been mad about all of that. He could have held a grudge, right? But if he didn't go through all those things, he wouldn't have learned how to interpret his dreams. Because that's what got him in trouble in the first place, is because he didn't know how to interpret his dreams. And it came off as he was trying to be boastful and brag about stuff and, make his brothers feel like they was less than him. But if he knew how to interpret his dream, he would have known that God was trying to show him that he was going to use him to help other people. But because he didn't know how to interpret his dream, it came off as his dream was showing him he go be better than other people. Or that's at least how his brothers took it, right? Like, if he didn't, go through all of that, if he wouldn't have went through that with Potiphar's wife, he wouldn't have ended up in jail. If he wouldn't have ended up in jail, he wouldn't interpret those dreams. If he wouldn't have interpreted those dreams, he wouldn't have become the right-hand man to Pharaoh, because he interpreted Pharaoh's dream. And then Pharaoh said, "You bow down to nobody but me. You in charge of everybody. The only person you gotta answer to is me." So he would have never got to that position if he would have never went through all of that. He probably would have still been back in the land with his brothers and his father, which means he would have been suffering with everybody when that famine came. But God put him in through all of that. Well, didn't put him in through all of that, allowed it to happen so he could be in position to help his family and other people when that famine came. So he could have been mad. And I can tell y'all, it's hard. It's hard not to be mad. Because in that moment, you only feel betrayal. You only feel like, I've done nothing to deserve this, but everybody is treating me like a bad person, like I did something when I didn't do anything. Why am I being treated this way? I don't deserve this. Some people, they hold on to that anger and they allow that anger to drive them to, to go back and try to revenge. Then that revenge end up destroying them. But Joseph didn't allow the anger to send him that way. Instead, he chose to forgive, and he chose to help those who tried to hurt him. God said, don't allow the anger to mess up the position he's about to put you in. Because some people do that. They get so in that powerful position, and because they still holding on to that anger, it ends up destroying them right when they get in that position. But God said, don't allow it to hold it against you, okay? But I love y'all, and I hope this message reach who it needs to. Good night.